Why hello there, my fellow sellswords. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Battle Brothers, episode 14, Marauding Goblin. This simple escort mission to Friedewald is far more dangerous than the man let on. Orcs? We were not paid for orcs. Men will have to find new recruits to swell their ranks. They're now short of a dozen, and unfortunately, none are in reserve. With Friedewald resupplied on trade caravan, men are looked to be hired. Recalling our ranks, we have dire need of additional range, or maybe another polearm or pikeman. Orc weapons will be repaired and sold. Otto Ducky looks to ready himself for more melee combat. Being in the Spear Vanguard, he thinks that maybe rotation will be the right perk to take. Bodo, having proven himself, wants the title of Meantime. With Pathfinder perk acquired, he hones his shot and hopes to have faster initiative, to strike faster to his enemies. The marketplace does have a bowyer. Maybe he knows how to use a bow. He'll be hired. As well as Carl, the lumberjack. Carl is greedy, or Edward, rather, is greedy, and demands more coin than probably he is worth. But Carl is strong. Carl is given a long axe, as well as a nasal helmet and padded leather. Edward inherits Bodo's old hunting bow, and Bodo dons the war bow that was left behind by fallen friend. Before we head deeper into difficult combat, a test we might have for the two new recruits to see if they're any good to aid us in our endeavors. The excess weapons are sold off, the ones that had been repaired, and the orc weapons as well as their armor, as it is crude and not easy for a man to wield. Cheap quality wood purchased from the lumbering town, as well as tools and supplies at slight markup. The contract offered by Leadwin, our first contact. A bird perched on a window, the man seats and points at it. I wonder if that's how it got in, the brigands I mean. They snuck once again through his window. This man does not remember to close his window. That's how they got away with the Tome of Arcane Knowledge. The man slowly rises and stalks the room and crouches, ready to pounce on the bird. He returns to his seat, wiping his hands. My task is simple, sellsword. Bring my property back to me. Kill the brigands, if you don't mind, too. We accept his offer. This, a good simple test for our new recruits. 5 thieves off in the distance, hoping to make a break for it, heading towards Eisenstein, but they will be caught in due turn. Men's spirit, although wounded, isn't fully broken, and they're ready for this fight. They look scared, presumably knowing how well paid we are, ready to enact some wrath of our own. We'll wait for them. They'll come to us. The first brigand thinks he's clever, lurking in the bushes. Kettleman, the healer, to remind him that he has sharp eyes. Surrounding the enemies, Kettleman strikes the man hiding in the brush. He dies in one quick strike. Fighting man, so much more simple than fighting orc. Predictable. Possibly well geared, but far easier to fell. We set about our flanks, ready to strike at their group. Carl, the new recruit, splits the shield of one of the brigand raiders, opening opportunity for a bowman to take advantage. Likewise, Kettleman does the same. Bashing their heads with flails, especially the ones well-armored, will be the tactic of choice. We'll separate them from their weapons, from their coin. Another down as we close in on our prey. Another axe split, opening up opportunity for archers to land strikes. Only two remain, making short work of these bandits. The last, trying to flee the battle, likely not to get too far. "Run them down!" a shout rings out, and the men surround the last raider. Some armor, some weapons, a little loot, a little bounty. And after the battle, the man who stole the Tome of Arcane Knowledge dead, we were able to find the item intact. Liebwin of Fridwald will be most pleased. Perhaps he'll learn to keep his windows shut. back through the Belford after a long march of chasing down thieves. The men eager for ale and resupplies. When you return, Liebwin is waiting with a bird in a cage. Seems that he finally caught it. Ah, the sellsword's return, and we hold up the Tome of Knowledge, and he pays for us. Another royal contract ready to be accepted. Friedwald seems peaceful enough, but something must be going wrong because a messenger comes to you with a notice from a local nobleman. And there's riches, there's trouble. Count Otwin of Gumbald, yelling at his men to leave the room. When he settles down, he bids you a fair greeting. It's good to see you. Do you have any notion as to how hard it is to get loyal men to kill some goblins? He spits and wipes his mouth on his sleeve. Apparently there are goblins afoot. Seeing that we have recently taken on 2 new recruits that are in no capacity to take on goblins, we say we have other obligations. We'll head down to Allen, and possibly also to Mittersfell. They've seen better days, their mine collapsed, their trade caravans marauded. People are disappearing from this land. Must be a monster afoot. Roger the merchant looking out his window. When you find him, there's a goblin in his hand. Do you realize how quiet it was? And of course, yes, it is quiet when we enter town. But he says no, people have been disappearing, beasts of some sort. Go find what it is and hunt them down. He's willing to pay us 1,000 crowns. Footmarks left to the east of ghouls, lots of them. It's best to fight these in the deep wood, with flanks covered. In the daytime, we'll lurk, waiting for a better opportunity to strike. Analyzing the terrain, realizing that there's a decent bottleneck up front. We ready spear for the onslaught. The men righting themselves, with shields raised and spears drawn. The northern flank secured by Zaleb the tank, and Robert joins the vanguard. One shot finally marks its target. Here comes the ghouls. Wretched, twisted, thrashing and clawing their way at our men. None too feasted, so there needn't be too much worry. Most look small, hungry, eager. Three kills in a row. The men happy as how the battle is turning in their favor. Keeping these wretched beasts from eating freed corpses is best. We move forward, covering the bodies to prevent consumption. This tactic proves to be useful. They can't renew their strength without corpses to feed upon. Yet another killed in the south, their numbers dwindling few. This, far easier of a fight than they had originally anticipated. The center will still be held, even if there are no current incursions, and JT will hold the pass covering the southern corpse. We take a high ground position, Flash waving his banner wildly, goading the undead to approach. A falcon released to reveal all 5 of the remaining ghouls. Good information that we can act upon. The largest of the ghouls heads towards the armed group up north. With the height advantage, it's easy to slash the chest of the largest. The center pass will be held at all costs. We don't want the flank opened. But our men push forward, slicing and bashing their way through their ranks. Our men note that unlike previous fights with the ghouls, we haven't even suffered a single injury. Ready and eager, we press forward, openly hunting the few that remain. If only we had a few war dogs, perhaps they would catch up. It's hard to chase a ghoul in full armor. We're going to try to run them down. Probably with not very much luck. They're out of sight, and we let them go. We know we won't catch them. We'll save our breath for another day. A few teeth to be returned as trophies and evidence of the kill. Their body separated by Robert the Turtle to be returned to Roger the Merchant as proof. Between the battle and walking to Roger Merchant's place, the maw of the ghoul became filled with flies, its tongue replaced by a formless, throbbing black ball that's more buzz than bite. Roger the Merchant takes one look at it and puts a cloth into its mouth. Yes, I get it. Take it away, please. And we are paid. To lift the spirits of the men having faced such atrocities, we buy a round. There's a mage on the council of Koppelfest, a real wizard. Not sure if I believe that, despite the fact that we just obtained a tome of arcane knowledge. And a contract. Baron Eric von Gumbald gets up and goes to his window, stops, shakes his head, and returns to the table. He takes a slow, measured seat. At first word I got that it was brigands, then I heard raiders from the coast, and then survivors began to talk. Now you know what the problem is? You shrug. Doesn't matter. Greenskins sell swords. They're rampaging around Cobmenhaven, and I need you to stop them. We will hunt if the pay is right, and we accept his offer. We rest for the remainder of the night, to trade in the morn. The tools and supplies are overpriced. The men, eager to keep their gear in good repair, pass up this opportunity. The temple offers us a quick way to heal both Flash and Papa G. An opportunity not passed up so that they're readied for the next fight. We're to be going to Cobmenhaven, 2 days away to the west-southwest. And not for a lot of coin, mind you, but we have a bone to pick with the Greenskins. And this contract might be easier than several others. On the way there, we'll try to resupply on Eisenstein, and possibly also Uhlenkrug. Footsteps in the hills usually signal raiders or something worse. Direwolves, perhaps, on the horizon? We still have yet to obtain the armor that fits our requirements. But such armor is just so expensive, it's hard to save up. Enough coin, enough crowns. Maybe after this task we'll save up. We'll purchase finally something worthy of a tank. We weren't paid to kill direwolves. We were paid to kill marauding greenskins. Tendrils of smoke curl and slip out of the ruins of the farmland. A body is at what used to be a front door. Half of it's missing. The half you are left with carries a horrified face, a burnt arm reaching out for something or someone that is no longer there. A few footprints scatter amongst the mud and grass. Greenskins, you're getting close. Our men patrol around the town, looking for evidence, tracks, traces of the greenskins. And finally, running about this land has increased the stamina of the men. One runs in place holding a finger to his neck. He remarks that his heart rate isn't going up at all. Another brother remarks that the guy doesn't even know how to count. The running man pauses. Oh, that's right. And Mr. Not So becomes more indefatigable. The men tire of their search. The greenskins, marauding or not, certainly haven't availed themselves. Maybe, come dawn, it will be more obvious where the greenskins hide. A man is hanging from the limbs of a lonely tree, as though he'd fallen from the skies and skewered himself there. At the trunk are 2 dead donkeys, further along a cart wrecked from all sides. Its wheels spilled and splintered. Cargo and goods strewn everywhere. An old campfire licks around, looking for something to stay alive as it shrinks ever smaller. This is the work of greenskins, you have no doubt. It won't be long until you are upon them. Goblin raiders spotted to the north. 6 wolf riders. Knowing that they're wolf riders, our men expect them to be fast. We attacked them. We are not ambushed. They're all coming from the east. Their wolf riders circle around, and our men spot a hill behind them that they might be able to perch upon. Taking up a defensive position on this hill will give our ranged sentries greater lines of sight. The raiders circle around us predictably, using their fast speed to their advantage. We'll wait. We're patient. We'll hit our marks. Like circling the wagon, our men surround the crossbowmen so as to not be picked off easily by the marauding greenskins. Few weak spots are found here, they think. Only time will tell how their defenses stand. Finally, greenskins are within range. A difficult shot, but one taken. Unfortunately, missed. It's easy to circle back around and keep the flanks protected. It's just such a small precipice that we have our crossbowmen posted up upon. And with spearmen guarding the flanks, we won't make a soft target. They circle further. Finally, they commit to an attack, our men eager to wet their blades with green blood. First swing decapitates it. one of the sick goblins. Their wolf quickly put out of its misery. The height advantage given here offers easy shots to our adept marksman. Another wolf felled. With the fight committed, we can start rushing towards them, tying them down, locking them up, and forcing them into melee range. No more circling around us like buzzards. Another greenskin dead. Only one is unaccounted for, and it circles back to the left. Papa G, severely wounded by the onslaught of the Greenskins. He'll need backup soon. The riderless wolf put to eternal rest as backup arrives in the nick of time. Papa G wagers his combat skill against the remaining health of the greenskin, and that gamble pays out true. No weak spots to be found here, the men think. And the last greenskin gets locked down. It's time to close in for the kill, circling around. There's no way these guys are going to get free. A sound hit. But no follow-ups. Now only one greenskin remains. And a free wolf. Wolf put to rest, and the last greenskin tries to flee. This battle belongs to our brothers today. Some simple swords and a few repair supplies, but at least this contract completed. We'll return. The Gobos fought like starving mutts. Starving, crafty, murderous mutts. Unfortunate that their savviness couldn't be put to better use. Ah well, Baron Eric von Gunbald will appreciate the news of what's done here. And back to Alan we ride. A long way and for low pay, but happy to be cleaning the countryside of more of those greenskins. The men peruse the wares and buy the quality wood to be able to resupply recently ransacked villages. And push on east, back towards Allen. Eisenstein is their next destination, hopefully hawking their wares and finally selling off the greenskin weapons. resupplying on bread for their goat cheese and some grains for the road. And then heading bushwhacking through the forest up to Allen to return the marauding greenskin evidence. The night is dark and the Dawnland gives way to the swampland surrounding Allentown. Baron Eric von Gumbald, having a coughing fit when you return, he glances at you, hand borrowed from his lips. Surely your presence is not another bad omen? You shrug and place a greenskin's head on his table, explaining that all of them were taken care of. The Baron glances at it. So, my illness must not have been caused by something else, but what, women? It's probably the women. Let's be honest, it's always the women. The man pauses, then shakes his head. No matter. Your pay is being held by a guard outside. It is the amount we agreed to, though feel free to count it. God knows I may have miscount in my current state. With the current coin we've acquired, the men see fit to adorn JT the Spearman with heavier armor. So after rumors in a tavern about a sellsword from one sellsword to another, you better not cross your employers. We look to the map to see if there's any armor to be found nearby. Roger the merchant wants us to help him, however, about a brigand possibly in league with other vagabonds. He wants us to recover an artifact for him. We'll agree. It seems a simple enough talisman fetching mission. And perhaps it takes us in the right direction of weaponry and armor. Footsteps to the north place the thieves within maybe a day's march towards the Druid Grove and the Baleford. Peasants frequent these roads, and I think the thieves know it, so they turn south to hide what we've caught them. An obvious bottleneck in the middle of the map and posting up guards in the north will funnel the enemies through and pick them off one by one. The first of them already done. These men do wear decent armor enough. Perhaps we can use our flailmen and their new penchant for head bashing. We'll wait them out. They'll come. And like clockwork, they arrive. The lightly armored ones, the ones without valuables, are quickly dispatched and shot at. The shields are shattered of the brigand raiders. And our flails spin wildly for their heads. Their back flank is open. Otto contemplates. Should he proceed? He does so, but carefully, with his spear at the ready. Our spear wall remains resolute. The men laugh and snicker as one of the idiot raiders commits suicide upon his spear. The northern brigand raider is now surrounded by flails without any chance to self-defend. His head easily crushed. We push forward and close in on their pitchfork wielder. And their flailmen are ready and waiting. Robert tries to disengage to open up a hole for the flailmen to hit their marks. It works, and the flailmen take a stance forward and collapse, cave in the skull of the raider. One more pace forward. Zleb moves swiftly towards the brigand thug wielding the firewood axe. It's only a matter of time. Just to deter the enemies, a rally call is sounded, instilling fear in the remaining few that still stand against us. Brigand raiders, hearing the call, have started to flee the battle. How cowardly. How predictable. The pikeman is swiftly executed by flash, allowing JT to pursue the fleeing brigand. The brigand thug with the fire axe is assessed not to have any armor worth the time, so the last brigand is pursued. A boar spear scoured from the battlefield to be guaranteed. And yet another. We're gonna run them down. Trying to flee, he exhausts himself and gets hit twice. JT says, "I can handle this myself," and the men believe him. Back him up, all the same. The last brigand dies. Some good armor obtained from the dead, a wood axe, a boar spear, some spare mail. You clean the blood off your sword and then go to retrieve the item. As you bend over to pick it up, you spot a man watching you in the distance. He comes forth, his two hands totem together with long sleeves. "I see you've killed my benefactor's men." Sheathing your sword, you nod at them. He continues, "My benefactor paid good money for that artifact, and it appears he paid are no longer owed. So may I speak to you directly? I will give you 470 crowns for the item. That is a good amount of money. Roger the merchant, however, will not be happy if I decide to accept. Quickly, the Battle Brothers contemplate this situation. Do we know a good deal when we see one and hand over their item for the crowns? Or do we return with the item that we were sent to be retrieved? And it's obvious, our honor intact. It's a short march back to Allentown. Through the swamps and over the peat moss. The items that we obtained in battle to be pooled and repaired. When you enter Roger the Merchant's room, there are a host of guards surrounding him. For a second, you think you've stumbled upon a coup, but the men clear out, leaving behind dice and cards. Roger the Merchant waves you in. Come. I've lost a good deal of crowns, sellsword. Perhaps you've brought something to help ease my pains? You take the golden talisman out and hold it in your hand. Rather gingerly, the man takes it. Good. Very good. Your pay, of course, is here. And another contract ready. But first, the tavern to celebrate our victory. From one sellsword to another, they remind us again to not double cross. We had just made that decision previous. We paid for more rounds. Don't drink the water near Katzenberg. Let me tell you, it'll give you the runs in no time. A good rumor, to be sure. While walking around Allen's Road, a few men cry out from a local tavern, howling with laughter, snickering and doubled over. They barely spit out the news. Apparently, some nobleman has been looking for a sellsword. Interestingly, they can't help but to ask why they were laughing. The men go silent for a moment, and then one shrugs. Because we're drunk? Baron Eric, once again, puts a finger on a map. I need you to go here. He trails the finger to another location, and then to here and here. One long patrol. Kill anything that you think owns the roads and doesn't carry the gun-bald name. Be sure to take heads, though. I will not be paying you to take a vacation. I'll be paying you for each trophy you bring me. Return to me within 5 days. You'll get 49 crowns per head when you return, 30 heads at most. And another 330 when the job is done. We accept. Our relationship with Allentown, important. We assess our relationships, and Allentown is one of the most friendly. Eisenstein, Uhlenkrug, Friedwald, the ones we frequent the most, building a relationship with the local nobles. Our first stop is up to Friedwald. Happy to patrol it, claiming it as our own stomping ground. Thank you for watching Battle Brothers, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 28th. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhodamont.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. I hope to catch you in the next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow sellswords.